Hello, people. Welcome to Main Event Boxing Talk, and we've got some great shit lined up for the weekend, some good fights. Hello, Spencer. How are you?
I'm all right.
How are you,
And
Tom?
yourself?
I'm good, mate. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. I hope you are too.
Right, let's get straight into it. The amazing and world-class Chris Lovejoy has decided to retire. What a shame. Who wants to carry on? Who wants to mention it?
Well, that's one of your favorite talking points, so I'll let you lead it off.
Yeah, I think we should match him with Manuel Char.
Oh, that would be a great fight. Yeah.
Quando.
Yeah. So Christopher Lovejoy has beaten people with like records of 12 losses, 27 losses, and 4 wins. This guy is the game. This prank that's been allowed to be performed in boxing is amazing. There's no more Mexican road sweepers for him to beat up on.
Oh man.
So on his record, he beat a guy called Edgar. I tell you what, we're going to move on because his career. Who cares about Chris Lovejoy?
Who was his promoter?
Don King, I believe.
Maybe that's the reason why he had to announce his retirement, so that he could get out of Don King's contract, and then he'll come back again.
But his other promoter, his other manager, was a guy I'm friends on Facebook. I can't remember. It's a Puerto Rican guy who I'm friends on Facebook who manages it. So I speak to his manager sometimes. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Look, there's no problem with trying to build a record. That's fine, and you want to build a good record. But if he's dealing with Don King and other things like that, who knows? Who knows? And I tend to agree with you, Spencer. He may decide to, let his contract run out and then go and work for somebody else or work with someone else.
Yeah.
The guy's 37 years old. He hasn't got a lot of time left. He could probably manage in the 3 years if he's managed right.
37. Wow.
Eddie Hearn could take a chance. Here's a fight, but you can't build him up anymore. He has to fight a live opponent. Come back, have a couple of easy fights, then fight a live opponent. You can't be fighting Mexicans at 37 years of age.
What? Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say they could place him with guys like Kajanyu, Kaufman, something like that, maybe.
Yeah, nobody too good. Why don't you fight him, Nathan?
No, I know you're right. You're right. I'd be too deadly with my hands of stone. But this guy,
David Price.
David Price would smash his brains in. And seriously, I think they need to get someone. I want to see how good he is. I watched the clip of him, and he looked terrible. He looked out of shape. He didn't look like a guy that could get. He wouldn't even be. It'd be area level. I'd say he'd be worse. He looked worse than Dave Allen.
Well, look. In all fairness,
that's the type of guys that he got to fight. Dave Allen, David Price, those level guys. Travis Kaufman.
Yeah. See, boxing has always been a circus show until you get up into the upper echelon of it. So
yeah.
So what?
Yeah.
He's getting out.
Yeah, we basically discussed him longer than his career has existed.
But his greatest achievement, I've even seen his manager actually drove him down to Mexico, right? Would actually drive him down in his old clapped up Mercedes, and then he'd film the whole fight. And his brother, because I speak to his old promoter a bit, and he basically drove him down. Chris Lovejoy's his cousin. He took him down all the way down to Mexico to fight. And the venue everywhere looked shit. It looked like it'd been shot up by El Chapo and his drug lords. Right, we'll move on because I don't want to kill any more time on Chris Lovejoy's career.
You bring humor to it, I'll say that.
Has anyone got anything else to say about the fantastic career of Chris Lovejoy?
Well, I firmly believe in the philosophy that, don't say anything bad about somebody. Say his career is over. Good.
No one gives a fuck.
Let's move on.
Yeah, right. We've got Junior Farr, who will be fighting in about 7 hours' time. He'll be fighting. Junior Farr will be fighting Joseph Parker. This is a good fight.
Why do you think that?
Because we don't know how good Junior Fire is really. He's not nothing special. And Parker's not performed the best recently, has he? So it might be more interesting than we think it's going to be.
How do they give these belts out?
You buy a Cracker Jack box, and then they're inside the box.
Because I'm looking and I'm seeing that this one is for the vacant WBO Oriental Heavyweight title.
Yeah.
So
It's just, you know.
Oh man, it should be an interesting fight. You know, I've watched both of the guys. Parker is in a different class. Fa is big, he's strong, but he's wide and he's slow.
Junior Five's gonna get beat. He should get beat up badly. Joseph Parker, from the, like you said, Tom, from the fights that I've seen Parker in and the fights that I've seen Junior Fa in, Junior Fa is not ready for no Joseph Parker.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
It won't go to 12 rounds. I think Joe stops him about round or 8-9 because Joseph Parker hasn't got explosive power. But, you know, he'll grind him down and he'll stop him in the 8th or the 9th round. I don't think it's going to be a pretty fight, to say the least. You know, Parker's going to be doing all the work. Far's going to be, you know, I've got a lot against the ropes a lot in this fight, I think.
Yeah, Junior Fa living off of that win that he got against Joseph Parker in the amateurs.
Pathetic.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see this. It's just different class of fighter. I mean, Fa could come in really motivated and well trained, but he's been out a couple of times being sick. And Joseph, if he's really up for this fight, he should be able to get through this fight without a problem and even score a KO depending on how they fight.
Yeah.
But I tell you, on this card, I was interested. I watched Hemi, and Hemi is a pretty heavy-handed guy.
He's fighting that Julius Long, who's been recycled more than a Mortal Kombat character. Yeah.
Yeah, that should be a KO.
Oh yeah. He fought him before though. He only beat him on points last time.
All right. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Julius Long was knocked out in 2004 by Ollie Harrison in 2 rounds. That's how terrible he is. So, and I watched that fight. Okay. Well,
that's the type of fighter that your boy be fighting.
Manuel Shaw. Oh, he could fight Manuel Shaw.
No, your other boy that just retired.
Lovejoy.
But yeah, Parker wins this. He doesn't gain anything from it. So really, it's a pointless fight.
I mean, it's a regional fight. It's a New Zealand fight. It's the top 2 guys from out of that area fighting each other. You know, so it's a good fight for the area.
Big payday
New Zealand.
for Junior Parker. He's getting about $600,000. This is a big, massive payday for Parker as well. He's getting like £1 million for this one.
I've said this before, and I'm going to say this again. If it's dramatic, it's going to help Parker. You know, if it's a dramatic win, and you need to have dramatic wins, you need to dominate, and if he does, it will up his stock in the heavyweight division.
All paid for Junior Parker is a top 50 fighter and nothing more.
Yeah, but of course, like Tom just said, if he was to go in there, say he smashes him within 6 rounds or something, or looks really impressive, gets, you know, like through him, even if it goes decision, it's like it's without question that Junior, like he's back, he's ready. Because not getting a knockout after being out so long is not such a bad thing. You know, you might have to get your stuff back together or whatever.
Junior Fa may not be as bad as we think. Is what I'm saying is he may up his foot. We could see an upset. I'm not saying we will, but you can't rule upsets out. I don't think it will happen, but you know, you never know. This is
you know, guys like Junior Fa, if he don't he train in the States now or something?
Yeah, he does.
Training in the States?
Yes, he does.
That's what he would need to do. Like once they get to a certain level, if they from another place, they have to go where better camps are at, and they can have better sparring partners readily come to their camp.
Yeah.
You know, in New Zealand and places like Australia and stuff like that, you're not going to get too many people coming to spar unless you're paying them. But you know, you're not going to get too many variety of good level sparring if you so far away. You have to come where the sparring is, and
especially heavyweights, especially the heavyweights.
Yes, so you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully he could get better.
We'll see how he does. He's only 30. is, I believe, Fire's a little bit older.
Right.
All right, let's move on to our next thing. Anthony Durrell is making a comeback after his loss to Benavidez. He's fighting a guy called Kyron Davis, who I've never heard of before.
Yeah, you got part of my French. But who balls did fucking Darrell fondle to get a main event card on Fox?
On Fox.
Yeah, like this should have been on Showtime or Bounce or something.
But Darrell is a faded fighter. There's no doubt about it. And this Kyron Davis guy hasn't beaten anyone, so this should be a win for him, you know?
Well, yeah, like they couldn't even get Darrell to fight an undefeated guy.
Well, let's give some props to Darrell. He was a champion. He was a tough fighter.
Oh yeah.
He's doesn't have any quit in him. But now, if you look at Kyron Davis, I watched some tape on him. He's also aggressive and he's strong. It's a class thing. Darrell shouldn't lose to him. But if it's one of those things where if Davis wins, well, it ups his stock. If Darrell loses, then he better seriously think of retirement.
Shall we be honest?
At this point,
Darrell is the kind of guy, he's been so hot and cold in his career, a bit like his brother. He blows hot and cold,
Yep, but they have fought very top-notch competition.
Yeah, I mean,
they definitely has been in there with the people in their division without question. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, like, this is not for a title fight, and Darrell, if he's who else is on this card?
I don't see the rest of the card.
People you've never heard of before. People you've never heard of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you could get, I guess it's just maybe this is setting up. Maybe this is setting up a fight. Is this the Darrell that? Wait.
There are two brothers.
No. I got that. Is it him or Andre that fought Yildirim?
It's him. It's him. It's Anthony.
It's him. Okay, so if he beats him, then maybe that'll set up the what's it called? Because wasn't he supposed to fight Benavidez or something?
Yeah, he's already done it, and he lost.
Yeah, he lost to Benavidez.
No, I thought he was. It was Yildirim and Darrell supposed to be a fight to determine mandatory.
No, but
something happened with Darrell, right? Didn't something happen when he got cut or something?
Yeah, Darrell won the fight because Yildirim got cut, and he barely beat him.
And then they were supposed to do the rematch. Okay, all right.
But let me move on to the next. Let me go to
maybe it's Plant. Like who? Like this got to be setting them up to fight somebody else. So maybe Plant.
Maybe, yeah, that would make sense. Especially what's it on Fox?
Yeah,
that would make sense then.
Well,
in terms of like the next fight. Yeah,
go to the top.
But they got to keep. They probably, if he looks good, then that'll be like, well, this would be Plant's toughest test if they could go into it. Canelo's not supposed to be fighting Plant this May. He's supposed to be fighting Billy Joe or somebody else, and won't even look at Plant till September. So maybe this fight, and then they could set up Darrell versus Plant so that Plant could look good going into a Canelo fight, maybe.
Exactly. And it's also a safer fight than anybody fighting Benavidez.
Right. Yeah.
Let's move on because we've got a bit to cover. We've got a little bit to cover. Okay. So the top fight this weekend is Canelo Alvarez will be defending his WBC and WBA super middleweight titles against the most undeserving challenger I can think of, Andy Yildirim.
Well, I've watched tape on Avni. I can't pronounce his name, but anyway, he's very strong. He covers up and he'll let you hit him, but he's open for uppercuts. And we know what happens when Canelo throws an uppercut.
Yeah, he's done. He's done.
I
mean, on his ass.
Knocked out 3 rounds by Eubank 4 years ago. So that kind of tells me all I need to know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and Eubank
but wasn't Yildirim like a late replacement in that fight though?
No, he wasn't. No,
he wasn't a late replacement.
No,
he was set to go in the World Boxing Super
Yeah,
Series.
he was already
There was somebody that for the late. Oh, it was George Grove that for the late replacement.
Right. So Yildirim, he's strong. His body's strong, but once that chin gets tapped by Canelo, we're gonna have. I don't know how long he can last. We'll see. Canelo should look good in this fight.
Yeah.
He should definitely look good.
Yildirim is a European level fighter. He's not a world level fighter, in my opinion, at all.
Well, he's the #1 challenger, and Canelo has to fight him. So, and Canelo
Yeah.
wants to fight 4 times.
He only lost to Darrell and Eubank.
Yeah, and he beat an old Lenga who's about 48.
So he's about to lose to. He'll only lose to champions, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's in there. I mean, they got somebody for him to fight. The next one better be somebody better for Canelo. I don't think he's going to
stand. Meant to be Billy Joe, but I don't think that'll happen.
Yeah. No,
they're saying Billy Joe.
Okay, well, we'll see if Billy Joe. We'll see if Billy Joe figures out a way to get out of it.
It won't happen.
Well, he's done it a couple of times already.
You think it'll be Canelo not having it happen, or Billy Joe Saunders not having it happen?
Billy Joe, it'll be on Billy Joe's.
Billy Joe will find the way out if he doesn't like the money, or if he doesn't feel he's in shape, or he has a lot of excuses.
It cracks me up, yo. Listen, this is like he's at 168 right now, right? He's a champ at 168, and this is what I was saying. When I was saying this to some other people on social media, everybody at 168 should be ready if Canelo call them. Not that they got to be waiting and living their career around Canelo, but if they should always be ready because Canelo is the money guy. That's the guy that y'all want to get.
Canelo is ready. He's ready to fight. He's in shape.
So when you get a guy like when he called Callum Smith right after the negotiations, after the DAZN lawsuit stuff was settled, he's like, I want to fight this year because I didn't fight this year. I want to make some money this year. I want to fight this year. Everybody should have been on notice, right? Then you hear people like Billy Joe Saunders was saying, like, I ain't got enough time. If he want to fight me, he got to give me a full camp. Like, who the hell are you, Billy Joe Saunders?
Yeah, why aren't you in shape?
Yeah, like first of all, who the hell are you that he should been to what you asking him to do? Number one. Number two, like, you should stay ready.
Out of all the champions, seems to have loads of time. No one ever seems to strip him. He seems to get to keep his belts for years, and yet no one says a damn thing.
He got stripped at one time though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, he gave it up. He gave it up because he wouldn't fight GGG. Remember?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't it. No, that wasn't the thing. He got stripped because he got the nasal spray when him and
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're talking about Billy Joe. I was talking about Canelo.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
Well, hey, it is what it is, man. You better be ready. I totally agree with you. These guys are being prima donnas, So what, COVID? You could do road work. You could punch the bag. You could do all kinds of stuff.
Billy
Joe won that title 2.5 years ago.
There's a guy in the ring facing you with them same conditions.
He hasn't fought anyone. The two people he's fought, that Esteban guy and Michael. If that's the best opponents you can get as title shots, you're not going to beat Canelo based on those two performances. He's not going to do anything.
Well, and then they got a nerve to talk about other people and their opponents.
Right. Like I said, if you want to, and I agree with you, Spencer, if you're fighting and you're looking good and you're doing dramatic stuff and you're in shape, eventually that call is going to come in. People are going to want to see you against somebody like Canelo. Mm-hmm. Just like they wanted GGG against him, like they wanted all the rest of the guys, he was fighting at one point or another.
Exactly.
Danny Jacobs.
Right. I was just about to say he wasn't really talking about Danny Jacobs until Danny Jacobs looked good against Triple G. Once Danny Jacobs looked good against Triple G, they like, okay. I mean, he could have given him the shot before Triple G, but he gave it to him after Triple G. He said, all right, cool.
And Floyd was the same way. Floyd did the same thing. You look good, we'll give you a shot.
Because it's a seller. And
Yeah.
especially if there's a thing where he looks at a fight and says, "Yeah, I think what I could do could beat him. Like I think I could beat him." Then he's definitely, which I might be naive with this. I think a lot of boxers think they could beat the other guy when they, like the top level dudes. Like I don't think Floyd and Manny, when they go in the ring, I don't think Manny don't think he could beat Floyd. I think that he thinks he could, like, I think I could beat this guy.
Exactly.
Like
You got to have that mindset, or else you're going to lose.
yeah. Yes, you do. And
Right, let's.
Hey, well, let me ask you this: have you guys watched anything on Zhang? Because he's a real hard puncher.
Zhang will be fighting. Who's he fighting again?
Gary Forrest, and I think that's going to be a KO.
Yeah, he's a very
Yeah.
good fighter, but he's also getting on a bit. He's 37.
who you talking about?
Billy Zhang.
Yeah, he's one of them old guys too. Wasn't he with Top Rank at one point?
Yeah. And then
He's strong though.
Yeah, we're gonna see where he's another case of those guys where they from. Like, there's not too many people at one point that he could compete against to like.
No.
He's probably better than most of his area.
He's a decent fighter. I saw him in his last fight against Rudenko, and then when I saw his fight against Denmark, he's got a bit of talent.
And he got a hard punch, so that's always good.
Yeah, that's always what you need in the heavyweight division.
The big guy, he's a massive guy, 6'6".
Yeah, strong and thick. Did you want to go over to Teofimo versus Kambosos?
Before we go on to that, I was going to bring up. Apparently, Kell Brook is interested in fighting Chris Eubank Jr.
Oh, come on. That's Eddie Hearn looking to make some money, man.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
I always say, man, that Kell Brook should be. I don't know. Eddie Hearn kind of advised Kell Brook, in my opinion. It got him money, but it wasn't the best for his career.
It cost him his career, yeah.
Well, GGG put a hurt on him, and he was never the same after that because
that's the fight. Listen. That fight happened, I think, in September or something around there.
I remember. Right, it was about 3 years ago.
The Triple G Brook fight, right? But in the summertime, Brook was scheduled to fight Jesse Vargas. Vargas had the WBO belt at that time, and Brook had the IBF. They were scheduled to fight in a unification. Pacquiao didn't have a belt then. They were scheduled to fight in the unification. Didn't Pacquiao wind up? No, Pacquiao. Yeah, wait. I'm trying to remember the dates. Pacquiao fought Horn after Brook fought GGG, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Pacquiao had the belt then, right?
Because
Pacquiao won the belt from Vargas. All right, that's what I was saying. Like, if Brook would have fought Vargas in the unification and beat Vargas, he would have been a unified welterweight champion, and he could have got a call from Pacquiao, which would have gotten way more money than a Triple G fight.
Wouldn't it be worth him? But I reckon they should feed him to David Avanasi. That would make more sense. Then
Kell Brook?
Kell Brook would lose to would lose to Avanasi, I believe now.
I don't know about losing to him, but
I think he would now, yeah.
But he shouldn't be at welterweight. So
get him in there with Amir Khan at 154. That's the only fight left for him. That's a money fight. The only fight he's good for is that fight.
I think Amir Khan won't try to do that at 154. Amir Khan would try to make him be at 147 just so that he won't be as strong as he can be.
Can't fight at 140. He's a 154 fighter. I reckon if he was to fight Eubank, it would be bad, but it doesn't look good.
That would be, what is it, at 160 or 168?
It'd be at 160 the fight would be, because Eubank's gone back down the middle. So you can't put an old shot Kell Brook in there against a prime Eubank. That's suicide. That's just crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. There might be people at your door after this show calling Eubank prime. No,
what I'm saying, he's just into his prime now, prime years.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I got it. I would probably favor Chris Eubank. I
He'd
would
stop
definitely
him, mate.
probably
He'd
favor
stop him.
Chris Eubank.
He'd stop him. The old Brook would have won, but not this Brook. It's just
No, he shouldn't be doing that.
he
Got
needs
it.
to
Now,
retire.
like I said, he could fight dudes at 154. He could fight some of them dudes at 154. He could fight Liam Smith.
Yeah, and he could be competitive there. You know.
Yeah, he could probably beat Liam Smith.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I
He
don't know.
could fight. He
160.
could fight. He could fight. Hogan, Taju winner.
I have to be honest. I think people like the Avanasians and people like that, and now I think Kel's got this got so his his punch resistance gone so bad that I don't think a prime Kell Brook kills an Avanasian.
Yo,
And all this,
Oh,
not
yeah.
now.
I mean, truth be told, Kell Brook, before he got knocked out,
Was a
was
brilliant fight.
winning the fight. He was winning the fight before he got knocked out.
With
He was
who?
winning, but Bud.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And if we and the fight before that, didn't he knock the guy out in like 1 or 2 rounds? Or
Yeah,
something?
it was a guy called some. I know.
I'm just trying to. I'm just curious as to what, like you saying, like he's totally shot.
He
And I'm
is.
just trying to figure, since he's winning rounds against the best pound for pound fighter, he knocked out another dude the fight before that
He
in like
beat a
2
guy
rounds.
called Rab Shankar, who was a European, but then he beat.
No, I got that, but he showed the
Mark
difference.
DeLuca, yeah.
If he was a shot fighter against a European level fighter, wouldn't he go the distance or something like that? Like, wouldn't it be tough for him?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be so easy.
But
Like, I wouldn't really count Kell Brook all the way out yet.
when he lost Errol Spence Jr. and had those,
I just don't think he should be at 147.
when he had those.
No, he shouldn't be. He
When he
shouldn't.
had-
Let me throw my 2 cents in here. He shouldn't be at 147. He trained a long time and cut down. But I'm sure the reason this is being talked about at 160 is because he probably felt that he didn't feel right at 147, and getting down and losing weight again is not where it's at for him. He probably will feel better at 160. And that's why they're talking about this, because 147, his body has grown too much for that.
Yeah.
He's
Right, we
big.
better move on because we've only got 9 minutes left. So
Alrighty.
let's talk
All right.
about about Teofimo Lopez supposedly fighting Cambosos on the undercard of the Mike Tyson Holyfield exhibition. What do you guys think?
Right. I
Okay,
think
you
it's
gotta
good
be-
that he's getting that kind of money if he's actually going to get it. You know, almost $4 million. But we'll have to see. You know, it depends on the gate and how much Tyson and Holyfield. Now, is this actually confirmed? Are they having this
No,
fight?
it's not
Is this...
confirmed, but it's just more rumor and speculation.
Well, it would be a good thing. I think Aram contemplated it today. He talked about Thriller. I saw something up there about him saying, yeah, that's great if they could get him the money. We'll see. Who knows?
Aram sounding like a little bitch lately when it
Yeah,
comes to Teofimo. He like, yo, he was upset. Teofimo wanted more. Just listen, I'm a boxer dude. Like, if it's between the boxer and the promoter who should get paid more, I'm going to side with the boxer who should get paid more. But
Of course.
so Teofimo Lopez, he had a contract, right? And Bob knows what the deal is when it comes to negotiations and all of this. You're a lawyer. Teofimo, you had a contract for Teofimo Lopez, and if he was to fight Loma, you wasn't expecting him to beat Lomachenko, right? So he did what you thought he wasn't going to be able to do, and now he wanted a renegotiation in the contract because now I performed other than what you thought I was going to perform. So yeah, now I should get paid more because my value and my worth is more, right?
You know, this is classic Bob Arum recently with the bullshit he did with Terrence Crawford and all of that, and that's why Floyd left him too. You know, he thought he had Floyd okay, you can only make this amount of money. And Floyd said, well, the hell with you. I'm going to go out and do my own thing, and made
Exactly.
multi-millions of dollars, right?
Exactly. So his contract guarantee for Tio was 1.2. Tio's like, I got that for fighting Lomachenko and beating him. Like, I should get paid more now, like, so I got that as the underdog as a champ and all of that. Now I'm undisputed, so the riches should be. So
Right.
Bob didn't even want to deal with him with more. And you could tell by the bid that Bob put in. Bob put in a bid that when you break down to 65-35, he would have been paying Teofimo the same amount that he was offering him. That's in his contract. So even with the bid, he wasn't trying to give him more. He was upset that Tio went to George Cambosa and was like, listen, let's go to bid. So let's go to bid so we could get more.
Exactly.
He was upset.
And why didn't Bob do that? For him?
He was upset. And then Bob turned around and get mad at Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn ain't even win the bid, but you want to say you mad at Eddie Hearn because he outbid you when you publicly stated, let him go to bid and see if he could get more. So he was publicly stating that he wanted Eddie Hearn to collude with him to keep the boxes at a certain pay scale. Like, this is the type of Arum is crazy.
You could say bullshit.
Yeah, man. He's just full of shit, y'all.
But do you remember, there's boxing history. Do you remember when Tim Witherspoon was the heavyweight champion and he was fighting, what was that heavyweight over there at the time?
Frank Bruno.
Lennox Lewis. What? Frank Bruno. And Witherspoon was getting $800,000, and Bruno, who was the challenger, was getting $3 million.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, and that was a Don King deal. It was like,
and
what?
And I think Witherspoon may not even got 800,000 of that 800,000. If I'm not mistaken, yo, he really shitted on him.
Who did he win the WBA title off? I forget who he won it. Was it Gregory Page? He won it.
I think it was Greg Page.
It could have been Greg Page. But what about
it was Weaver?
I don't remember. But when he screwed Ali, when he fought Trevor Berbick, he was supposed to get like $2 or $3 million, and he wouldn't pay him.
$50,000, right? He gave him like
$50,000 cash and had his son deliver it. And Ali never sued him because he would have wound up spending money on lawyers and everything else.
He's like, I got this now. I wound up going to court and waiting and all of that stuff. I might not even get 50,000.
And hence, circling back to Lovejoy, that may be why he wants to retire.
Yeah, dealing with Don King and his bullshit.
You know how much he got for fighting, apparently fighting James Bowcrusher Smith, the WBA bet. He only got $80,000 for that fight. Apparently. Yeah. And then for the WBC belt, he beat Greg Page in 1984. So I forget that he had that reign several years before.
Yeah, he was a sad case because he could have been much more.
Yeah, he's talented, and he's penniless now. From what I know, he's penniless. Like a lot of
doctors. Most fighters are, Unfortunately,
yeah, man,
most fighters are.
And it's so sad because a lot of them get punch drunk in their later years, and they need to have some money so that they can have proper care.
Yeah, boxing needs a union. That's what it needs to have, is a union. It's like professional wrestling doesn't have unions.
Well, boxing we tried to do that. We tried to do that in the United States a couple of times, and it failed. Did you guys want to talk about the doing 3-minute rounds for women?
We've got 3 minutes left. Yeah,
right. That's perfect.
Okay.
Who's in favor? Who's in favor of it?
No, I think let's keep it as it is.
I don't mind. I don't really care what they do with the women's boxing. I will watch it. I will try to watch it and keep interest in it. There's valid points on both ends as far as like 2 minutes. There's people that say 2 minutes is better because they know they only got 2 minutes to go at it. So they got to hurry up and impress in those 2 minutes. They got to do what they got to do. There's no time to feel nobody out in the round. They got to come right and attack.
Do you guys feel that women's boxing? I feel it's been forced down our throats. Like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, women's boxing wasn't really a thing. Like, have you noticed in the last like 5 years, it's become a big thing.
Well, listen, if there's more, all right, I got daughters, so I gotta make sure I'm not a sexist piece of S.
I can take it or leave it with you.
So, more women are interested in fighting, and in doing so, you know, that's what they are. You know, they like, you know, they're not going to get paid the same. This is crazy though that the women. I understand the level of pay scales for men and women, so I don't expect the women to get paid equal to what guys are getting paid. They're not bringing that many fans, they're not generating that amount of money. But I am shocked that Clarissa Shields is not more promoted. Yo, like she doesn't have more endorsements.
We got
like,
one
she's
minute
a
left.
She's a two-time gold. I mean, I'm just talking stateside as far as like American products and stuff like that. Like, why isn't she like Ronda Rousey was heavily promoted, and she got her ass kicked twice. Clarissa Shields, in my opinion, should definitely get more endorsements.
We're out of time now. We're out of time. We're just about to run out of time.
All right.
I'm just about to stay on the line.
All right, good show, y'all. I'll speak to y'all next week.
Stay on the line a second.